All the media partners for being with us here today at our 7th edition of Sports for Change. The name of the event is Sports for Change, and this is the national finals for 2025. I'm so pleased to tell you that we have players, almost 750 players here who have lined up to play the tournaments. In fact, the tournament has kicked off already, and we're going to have the formal opening ceremony starting at 4:30, and we welcome all of you to join. We'll be joined by Mr. Achanta Sarath Kamal, who is a Padma Shri, Khel Ratna and Arjuna awardee, who is the Vice Chairperson of the Indian Olympic Association Athletes Commission. You must know him already. We'll also be joined by Mr. Samay Singh Meena, who is IPS Officer, Deputy Commissioner of Police Traffic, Tambaram. Plus, we will have Pro Chancellor of the Shiv Nadar University here, Ms. Kala, Dr. Kala, Pro Chancellor SNU and President SSN institutions. We'll also be joined by my own colleague, Mr. Ravi, who's Practice Head DFS. Plus, I'm very happy to tell you that we will be joined by our own player, Mr. Ayush Verma, who has represented India at the international levels. He's a para-athlete. It's such a pleasure to be here representing HCL Foundation. I look after HCL Foundation in the capacity of Senior Vice President Global CSR as well as Director for HCL Foundation. We started this entire initiative way back in 2016, almost 9 years. Until date, we have been able to invest almost 80 crores in the entire initiative, which is a cumulative amount that I've been saying. 64,311 athletes, including 169 para-athletes, have been reached through talent scouting in school. Regular trainings have been done with them, special camps, community outreach and competitive platforms. I really want to tell you that this is grassroots sports, this is community sports. We go to remote rural areas, we work in the slums. All our players come from below poverty line segment, so therefore we call it grassroots sports. We go out first of all creating interest in them for national sports. Then we practice with them all through, and the talented one, of course, keep coming up through our regional, as district level, regional and the national qualifiers. I'm also very happy to tell you that female athletes constitute 50.7% of our 64,311 athletes, and we make special commitment to get girls into sports. 145 grassroots and elite coaches have been deployed by HCL Foundation, which ensure that there is direct training happening at the field level for our players. We also give special scholarships, which is over and above our CSR fund. There are 192 scholarships which have been provided, where players can also travel internationally and represent India. This is coming from our fund, which employees of HCL Tech, of which we represent the CSR, they give ₹1, ₹3, ₹5, ₹10 per day from their payroll collections, of which we make unlimited scholarships for our players. They can represent and they can travel internationally, including para, for whom we also provide additional support. 149 admissions have been enabled in schools and colleges through sports. So we don't look at sports just as a means of getting national and international medals, but also as a livelihood where they can join as coaches. They also get into different quotas of jobs. Presently, we have 13 NGOs who are partnering with us under SFC initiative, and we have the project going on in 11 locations across the country, offering access to professional coaching and facilities. I just want to give you a few more achievements that since its inception, 5,000 plus athletes have represented federation recognized district level competitions, which is outside of HCL Foundation organized competitions. More than 1,600 athletes have represented at state level competitions. 369 have represented national level competition. 18 athletes have represented at international level competitions. And some of our key players, which also include players from Chennai, include Divya and Akansha, who represented India in rugby under 17 last year. They are in national camp for the under 20 rugby team now. We have Kanishri, our para-athlete, won Asian Games silver medal in chess. Anita, our kabaddi player, played for Tamil Nadu in the nationals. Of course, we have Arjuna awardees from SFC as well. You must have heard Jerlin's name in past. I think she came and met you. In wheelchair basketball, we have 131 wheelchairs which will be provided to 5 state federations as a part of this event. We also have blind football being supported under this initiative to the Blind Football Association, which we work with. We are also working with Karnataka State Disability Commissioner. We are working with Paralympic Committee in India. I just want to highlight few achievements of our para sports players. 169 para athletes, as I told you, of which 10 athletes supported for the classification at international level. 16 athletes represented India at international competitions. Preeti Pal secured bronze medal in 100 meter and 200 meter at Paris Paralympic 2024 and received Arjuna Award by Honorable President of India. Jerlin, I just took her name. She clinched 3 gold medals at Deaf Olympics in 2021 and received Arjuna Award. Kanishri secured silver medal in chess. Rajkumari secured bronze medal at Para Asian Games in 2023 Beijing, China in powerlifting. So these are few of our examples. I just want to also make it very clear that we have a very strong child protection policy where we ensure that all our coaches, all our staff are trained on all kinds of code of conduct so that children have safe spaces to come and practice. I also want to mention a couple of important MOUs that we have signed. We have signed 3 with Tamil Nadu Police Commissionerate under our banner of Police Children's Boys Club, Boys and Girls Club, where 1100 athletes are getting benefited, and these are children coming from slums of Chennai mainly. Then we have signed up with Department of Employment and Training, where 11 aside football grounds were created. We pay a lot of emphasis on sports infrastructure across the schools, across the states, be it Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, regions of Northeast, Maharashtra. We have worked extensively on infrastructure creation. The dream is that at least all children have minimum 1 Olympic sport that they can practice. We've also introduced archery in our sports regime from last year, which is also doing very well. And I just want to give you a few highlights for this particular event. As you can see, it's almost open now, and with the formal inauguration ceremony, it would be declared fully open. We have 12,256 players who competed across, and this tournament was held in 45 districts in 14 states. So the team actually traveled the entire country. We set up a similar kind of competition where they came, they played, and top 758 players are here, which are representing 14 states. I just want to mention the states: Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Nagaland, Sikkim, Assam, West Bengal, Andhra, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala, who are all here living very safely on the campus. Many of them have seen such facilities also, of such a big university, which also increases their aspiration levels for them to come to such universities and study. And 30 top athletes will be provided who play very well here. Power of One Sports Scholarship, which would be an addition to our ongoing scholarship pool, to whom we will support as long as they want to play. And I also want to thank at this stage the larger HCL group, because if you look at this campus, this is under the banner of Shiv Nadar University, SSN College. They also open their premises completely free of cost, so that's over and above the ongoing CSR that we do. I also want to thank our NGO partners, our fleet of coaches, our entire team. If you look at the kits, each kit has specialized equipment for that particular sport. Each child is being taken care of fully in terms of their entire travel coming here, their meals. And it is not a one-off event that we do. We work with them throughout their career in terms of their nutrition, in terms of their psychosocial counseling, in terms of also their education, which most of them reach higher education goals with us. I wish all the players the best for the competition now, and may the best teams win. Thank you so much. I open the forum for questions now.
The sports of change is only concerned for cricket, football, like that, or any other sports like hockey?
No, it has all Olympic sports. It has kabaddi, football, cricket, rugby, archery, as I said last time. It has kabaddi, of course. So it has all Olympic sports.
How the interest is shown from rural area?
Yeah, so we have community programs which are running all through. I mean, we have 3, 5, 10 years long-term programs, and we have regular education projects. So we introduce sports there by ensuring that they have right infrastructure in place, they have right equipment, the entire gear that they need. We first let them just play. We don't focus on talent and all of that. So once they are introduced, and once the eager ones, so we look at sports one as a larger physical exercise kind of, in preventive health, and that also keeps them away from a lot of mental health issues, drug abuse, because the communities from where our players come, they would obviously be little, they're differently oriented in many ways. Nutrition is also compromised. There's a lot of violence in the families. There are no means for them to actually come out and play. So we first create that atmosphere, and then we work with them starting at a very early age, and then we start introducing different sports to them, and then they are identified both from urban slums as well as very remote rural areas. We have girls all the way coming from Ajmer who said no to their child marriage, and now they are actually national and international players. So we work in very difficult circumstances, and we bring them out. And sports is not just about playing, it's also about confidence, it's also about negotiation within larger developmental milestones that they touch. So it's a rather reformative process. So for us, it's part of a bigger educational banner.
Actually, you are doing CSR activities for only sports or any other?
No, we have very big CSR program. I mean, we work in rural development area, we work in urban community development area. We also work on environment in a big way. So we have the larger 2% plus deployment, of course, in terms of budget, which is almost 300 plus crores. But more than that, it's 7.5 million people that we work with. And we also do afforestation in big ways. We do basically we work a lot on climate conservation and larger environmental conservation activities. So CSR is a very I would say well spread out in almost 22 states of India, plus globally also. HCL Tech has quite a big CSR footprint. Sports is surely one of our very big special initiatives, as we call it, where wherever we have our programs, you'll see sports is a cross-cutting.
How to find out the participants? How are you finding?
How are we identifying? Selecting. So selection processes, as I said, that we work with in different states. So we work with federations, we work without federations also, and we institute. Rather, I would say, first we just let government schools we go to communities. We first let them play and basis their interest, and then they go through several layers of competitions. And the topmost comes here through our own channel of filtration process. But on the sides, they are also introduced with the district level and the state level and the national level. So the idea is that we bring them out and then we mainstream them with the rest of the countries and the international. But essentially the child or the player comes from underprivileged section. There is an income criteria which is categorically applied, and the other part is either from a government school or from dropout category.
Sports was changed mainly for disabled people or general people?
Both. We have a lot of focus of working with children with living with disabilities, which we call as para sport. but we work with.
See, you talk infrastructure. You are doing infrastructure on your own, or do you have any tie with the state governments for this infrastructure facility?
Yeah,
How
that's
you are doing?
yeah. So we develop the sports infrastructure within the government system. So we don't create like independent stadiums and all. So we go to government schools, we strengthen the sports infrastructure, we go to ITIs, we go to colleges. So existing infrastructure, we upgrade it. Also stadiums. In certain places there is no facility whatsoever. So then we completely make it from ground up. Land comes from mostly government.
Any new games you added?
Archery we added last year.
Last year you added. See, you said there's a more focused interest among girls students.
I can just give you the list of the sports that we have. We have football, kabaddi, volleyball, basketball, kho-kho, the athletics, tracks, and badminton, table tennis, chess, and archery we have added.
See, there's a more interest among girl students. Is because of your initiatives or general outreach?
Girls they need opportunity. So because we have a very balanced team, we have both men and women coming to the ground. So when they see women coming out, our coaches also have both men and women. Now we have reached a stage, because we started the program around 9-10 years ago, our players have become coaches. So because they come from the same community and they see, okay fine, this girl, look, like we have one of the girls who was actually joined HCL Foundation. She was a player and then she went for her football coaching. She has a coaching certification. She also did her masters in rural development, and now she's joined. So when they see girls like them, they come forward. Girls are interested in all sports. It's a myth. They do everything equally well.
How do you see the sports ecosystem presently, and what is it for the future?
I think India has a long way to go. Right now, I think we really need to work. I think the federations, first of all, really need to look at the right talent, need to step out of, I would say that the grassroots level sports need a lot of attention. I mean, there are few who are getting into the mainstream sports, and after a point it becomes extremely expensive also. Both in terms of the sports gear as well as in terms of sports infrastructure. So there is a huge gap. I mean, here in Tamil Nadu, maybe you have better facilities and slightly, but I am coming from Uttar Pradesh, where lots needs to happen. Bihar, lots needs to happen. So the larger, I am not saying that government is also doing enough, but then we have a whole lot of gap which needs to be fulfilled. So ideally, each school should have minimum 1 or 2 or 3 Olympic sports and it should be given. The other point is that it should be given equal weightage as academics, because right now after a point child thinks, okay, I have to only do reading, writing, and that will get me a job. But sports also has equal, rather it's a higher order emotional and intelligence job, right? So one really needs to pay a lot of attention to that. Nutrition is also a big problem. We find that also in urban elite, nutrition is not, and when nutrition is not matched, after a point they start losing stamina. So the nutrition science, then the technique with sports. So these days if you look at all the international sports where our sports people go, they apply a lot of techniques. So we are also partnering with organizations like Abhinav Bindra Foundation. We are also trying to get the right equipment where their entire physical parameters can be measured clearly and the right kind of input can be provided to the player. So these days player is almost like it's like a machine which needs to be kept fit. So in order to reach that level, I think we have, our entire intention is that we are able to bring out players from the last mile and connect them to the mainstream sports. That's what we are trying to do.
Your CSR is very big. So do you work on sports curriculum also among
Yes.
education?
Yes.
You work with the new education policy. There also they give most focus on this. What do you role on that?
So HCL Foundation has surely welcomed the new education policy, and that's what I said, that for us sports is a part of our larger education program. That's where it emerged. Of course now it has become a separate special initiative, but it is very much ingrained with a larger So whichever school we work in, whichever Anganwadi we work in, wherever we have yuvas, young people, we very much see sports as an integral part of it. So as much emphasis we pay on science, we rather pay more emphasis on sports. I think the new education policy is very clear in terms of credits. I'm very happy to say that our players are actually getting those credits when they are entering. I just mentioned the number of students who have got college admissions because of their sports quota. So another message which is going out in the community is also thanks to the CUET and their ECE and the weightage which they have brought in, including engineering colleges, medical. Of course, it will take some time but then good part is that NEP has opened that. So now parents are also beginning to understand. I think most importantly, what happens when one starts playing is the complete transformation in terms of personality. So the confidence really changes, and then they are job ready. So one, they of course have to have fun and enjoy it. They learn team spirit. They learn to work together. Now you look at children who have come all the way from Madhya Pradesh to Tamil Nadu, children who have come all the way from Rajasthan, they've come from Jammu Kashmir, they've come from all northeastern states. Their parents are trusting us because they trust their child, so that whole ecosystem is developing. So the team actually works extremely hard to, paying attention to minutest details. Therefore, they are coming out in numbers.
In future, the winner certificate useful to the job portal.
Yes.
And,
Yes. Ours is also now they are recognizing our national sports certificate also. We have 2-3 universities who have given admission basis our certificate. But most of these children go out and play district levels, state levels, national levels anyhow. So now also CUET, there is a particular segment called extracurricular activities, under which all these certificates are very useful. They give credits.
Safety is already you are following the ones. So what are the guidelines you are using?
So we have a very, very strict child protection policy. HCL Foundation's old child protection policy, and we have very senior people who are employed by HCL Foundation, who are independently reporting into us, and they have a full team as a task force which works independently with all coaches, with all players also, because within players also we have to ensure that there is safety. It's a high touch activity. Of course, sports, you have to coach a lot. So and then we have very clear HR policies around child protection. So that code of conduct is followed all through. As all of you can see, you'll witness a lot of team spirit, you'll witness a lot of, the way children are in a free space, you can feel it. Nobody is inhibited, nobody is feeling scared. Of course, coaching needs a level of discipline and a level of obedience. So there is this entire thing of training which goes on. But when it comes to protection, we are very, very strict about it.
What is the message you want to give students coming to sports?
I would say that be fear-free, play, come out. It is your ground, you have to rock it. So don't hide your talent. Sports needs a level of courage. Sports also needs you to be able to stand in front of your own teachers and parents and say that I want to play. And if you have that grit in it, don't stop it. The other thing I really want to communicate to players is that sports also has two facets: winning, also losing. You have chances of both, but then losing means that you bounce back, and winning means you don't relax. You have to go ahead. So don't be disheartened if you lose any time. Next time you'll definitely win if you work on the messages correctly. So that's my message. Right to play is your right. Exercise it.
What is the competition rules? Any rules for the competition?
Oh yeah, many. There are many rules. There's a full rule book we have of do's, and you see the level of discipline here. I invite all of you to please see how the states will be recently. It's a sight to see. I don't think, and I can challenge you, you will not see such a sight anywhere. the kind of side that we have. All the state teams will be here, all association. It's a beautiful sight. It can only be witnessed. Obviously, you have to have discipline. So we have rules around sleeping time. There are a lot of rules because it's almost like an institution that we are running. No institution runs without rules, and we respect them. All of us respect them.
You have included hockey.
Hockey we have, right? Yeah, we have hockey. Yeah, I have to watch the match. Yeah, hockey we have. Yeah, hockey is a little tricky one to get in, but we've got it now. Of course, hockey we have to work
National
on.
game.
It's a national game. Initially we had double this thing, but now we have hockey.
This
Yeah.
education, how long will you sponsor them up to college level?
As long as they want to go, so
They
our
want.
people give. But usually what happens is that we've seen there's a wean off that happens, sir. At a point, what happens is that the player would be picked up by somebody. That a lot of people who want to sponsor a trained player. So we have also taken that as a strategy that we bring them up to a certain point, and if someone signs them up as a professional player, they only themselves then wean themselves off, which is all right for us. We don't want to hold them because then you let them free. But usually in case of para and all, they need support for a longer term because of the associated help that they need in terms of travel, language, kits which need to be. So we keep supporting it because we also have, our thanks to our chairperson, Mrs. Roshni Nadar Malhotra, who is the chairperson of CSR committee. She has always encouraged us to do more and more. And thanks to a group like HCL Tech behind us, all our employees, 225,000 people, they are also big sports lovers. So we've never had dearth of resources. However, our players, once they reach maturity, they start giving back. They start coaching, they start helping others. So we've reached that alumni kind of level, and now you see all of them are mentoring others. When these nationals happen, they all come and they kind of financially they become independent. They are either there are a lot of jobs also, railways, banks. Most of them get jobs quite easily, and once they get it, they themselves stop. Thank you so much for coming and your time.